Hi, I'm Kyle and I'm from Moneymakers Academy. We'll talk about the ultimate beginner's guide for making passive income.
Passive income? Is it for real? We all know you can't make something out of nothing. And that makes us a bit skeptical of passive income. It sounds too good to be true. And the truth is, most passive income is really semi passive income, requiring some work to maintain. And all sources of passive income require effort to initially create. The ultimate beginner's guide to making passive income this 2022. Ever since people started lending other people's money thousands of years ago, it's been possible to earn passive income. But things have changed a lot over the past few years. With the onset of Industrial Revolution, the invention of machinery exploded. And now, in these past few years, technology has advanced so much that we now have software that can program to make these different machines do things basically on their own. And that means that there are now so many different ways we can earn passive income far beyond simply lending other people's money and earning interest on it. You can now sell products and have them manufactured and have them delivered without you having to lift a finger beyond the initial setup. Even just a quick Google will garner literally hundreds of stories of people who within the last week and months have made the shift from working a job to instead supporting themselves with passive income. How does passive income work anyway? It sounds impossible, like you're trying to make something out of nothing. Passive income? It sounds way too good to be true. We've all been trained that there is no such thing as free lunch. And it's true. There are a lot of passive income scams out there that are never going to turn into anything, and there are a lot of things out there that are built as passive income that actually require a lot of effort. But here's the thing about reality of passive income. We're not creating something out of nothing. We are investing either time or money into creating the stream of passive income. And on into the future, most streams of passive income do require some maintenance. But that doesn't mean that you can't create a whole lot of income passively in the process. It works this way. You sell or offer some sort of value that can be delivered automatically, and you get paid for the value you're providing without any ongoing effort on your part. Let me give you an example of how this works in the real world, starting with first one, stocks. Especially stocks that pay dividends are one way you can earn passive income. You are essentially lending companies your money and they pay you dividends over time for the use of that capital. So, that is for the stocks. Another example would be online courses. You're providing value, information, and people are paying you for that value and that whole transaction process that can be facilitated automatically without having to manually interact with the customer. Another example is royalties. Royalties. Authors earn royalties for books that they have had published, and musicians earn royalties for music that they have had published. There are other kinds of royalties out there, but in this type of passive income, the value that you are providing is the use of the intellectual material that you created. And then one more example of how there's a general passive income thing works would be rental properties. If you invest in real estate and then you let people live in your real estate, then they pay you rent. Now, of course, there can be tons of work here involved, and we'll get into that more later, talking about passive versus semi-passive income and how to make things more automated and more passive. But for now, what I want you to understand is that with rental properties, the value you're providing is of course a place to live, and you're getting paid for that automatically, passively, every month just for providing that asset. So how passive is passive income actually? A lot of people say, not at all. Passive income always requires a lot of work, much more than that looks like from the outside. But let's look at the facts. First of all, always requires some amount of effort to get started, and also sometimes some sort of financial investment. First of all, it always requires some amount of effort to get started, and also sometimes some sort of financial investment. You need to do some work to create a machine that is going to deliver the value to people and that they will pay you in the process. Or you need to purchase some type of investment that is going to pay you dividends over time. And the truth is that most things that people call passive income are truly semi-passive income, meaning that even beyond that initial investment of time and money, you have to do some ongoing maintenance. There are some things that look passive from the outside, but do require a lot of ongoing effort. And then there are other things that are most completely passive. For example, as I mentioned a few minutes ago, if you purchase stocks that pay you dividends, you do that initial effort of purchasing the stock, and you also probably did quite a fair bit of initial effort to do the work, to earn the money, to be able to purchase a stock. But once you've done that, you get those dividends without almost any effort at all. However, even with stocks, it still of course serves you well to spend a little bit of time every month or so managing your stock portfolio to make sure that your investments are performing as expected. You have to understand that there is balance and that there are trade-offs. Specifically, trade-offs between effort. Of course, you in this trade-off, you have to do something, you have to create something, you have to give your strength, your that financial effort, financial investment, then risk and return. Any sort of investment you make or venture you set out is going to have a certain amount of effort that is required to at least get us started, if not ongoing into the future. It's also going to involve a certain amount of risk. You'll either be risking your time or you'll be risking some financial investment. So you just have to choose between these two. And it will also have a certain level of return. And that is essentially how profitable it will be. There's really no such thing as a golden unicorn investment that requires absolutely no effort, carries no risk, and has astronomical level of return. Most different ventures or investments you might go are going to have a trade-off. They're either going to require more effort but have a pretty low risk, at least financially, and have high return, or they'll have a low effort, which is what we are going for here with passive income, right? So we're looking at things that require low effort. But if we have that low effort, then what are we going to make that trade-off on? Do we want something with higher risk, maybe a higher financial risk, or maybe a higher of the initial time that we invest in the project? Or do we want something with lower return, lower profits? We have to decide which of those two things is more important to you. It's kind of like that saying, you can have anything, but you can't have everything. You have to decide which aspects of this new venture or investment are the most important to you. Most of the time, that's going to start with doing some research and talking to different people who are already earning income in that way. Then, once you have more information, you'll be able to reevaluate your priorities and figure out what's really most important to you. So let's talk about how to start earning passive income this year. I'm a really practical person. I like things to be actionable. So let's walk through the actual steps. The first step being choose what type of value you want to offer. In order to make this choice, you're going to need to understand how each of these different types of passive income work and how you could deliver that value. Because as you've talked about, you're going to need to either invest some time and effort or some money. And right now, you probably have more of one or the other of those things. So you'll need to pick the right type of passive income strategy that works with what you've got. So let me share a few different options and ideas with you. First one being affiliate marketing. Now, affiliate marketing can work really well or it cannot work at all, just depending on how you go about it. But the basic idea of affiliate marketing is you are selling or promoting a product that someone else provides to the customers and you're getting paid a commission in the process. Now, if you're just trying to spam links all over the internet, it's not going to work out for you and no one's going to click on those links or purchase the products because they won't trust you. But if you make the investment of effort into building an audience online, then you can share affiliate links with your audience and they'll trust your recommendation and purchase it. Another way you can go about this strategy is run paid ads, making a financial investment and run those ads into a sales funnel that is already up and running and built by the company that sells the product. For example, at my business, we'll sell a course called Creator Fast Track that helps people get their first 1,000 YouTube subscribers in 3 months. Well, we have a system that sells that product, and so all our affiliates need to do is to tell people about the program and in fact just tell them about the free workshop we offer. People sign up for free workshop and we take it from there. We are able to close 5 to 10% of the leads that send our way. Okay, I could go on and on about this all day, but the point is affiliate marketing is one passive income strategy, and the effort that you'll need to put in there is the effort of building a marketing system that markets the product that someone else is selling. Okay, my next idea for you is to write and self-publish a book. This is something I did a few years ago, and it worked really well. Now, of course, writing a book is a lot of work. It took me about a month to do it. I wrote for 1 or 2 hours every morning for a month. By the end of the month, my book was finished. And then came the real hard work, the editing of the book. And we had to format the book. But after a couple of months, it was ready to go. I self-published it with Amazon self-publishing service, and that automatically lists it on Amazon and I've earned a couple $100 from that book every month ever since. Now for about I self-published it with Amazon self-publishing service, and that automatically lists it on Amazon, and I've earned a couple $100 from that book every month ever since, for now about 4 years. Another passive income option I've mentioned a few times is investing in stocks, specifically in stocks that pay dividends. There are other kinds of investing you can do as well though, in small assets like purchasing metals, gold, silver, and platinum, or purchasing collectibles. These are things that over time appreciate in value, and they also often have some sort of useful functionality as well. Investing in small assets like that won't send you a paycheck every month, but over time, your money will grow and eventually you'll be able to cash out and get a very passive payday. One more thing you could invest in is in real estate. Now, obviously, there is a higher level of risk here, but real estate investing can really be lucrative. One of the most common real estate investment strategies is to run a rental business. Now, in this sort of business, you're going to purchase properties and rent them out. So, of course, you're going to be earning the rents from the properties. But also at the same time, the properties will be appreciating in value. The rental income is definitely that I'd call semi-passive. Obviously, you can outsource the management of the rental property, and that can take a lot of effort off of your plate. However, you still have to do a bit more of management just to oversee that everything is running as it should. However, the appreciation that you'll experience with the property, that income is really completely passive because you don't have to do anything to make that property appreciate in value. Then, we've got creating and selling online courses. Now, there can be a big risk here with your time. You are actually going to see a return on this investment. It can be risky. But of course, if you diversify how you're selling your courses and you list them on Udemy and you list them on Skillshare and maybe you also sell them to your own audience, then you really help to mitigate that risk. Also, it can be very time intensive and effortful and non-passive to be actively trying to sell your course. But if you list it on sites like Udemy and Skillshare, then you can figure out how to work with the algorithm. You can get your course to rank relatively well, and then sit back and see the sales keep coming in. Similarly, you can sell digital products on a website like Etsy. Similarly, you can sell digital products on a website like Etsy. So, for example, you could design some graphics or templates and then you can list them on Etsy and create automatic digital systems for delivering those products to your customers digitally, and then some purchases. And when someone purchases your product on Etsy, all those different systems can trigger and the product can be automatically sent to your customers without you lifting a finger. And then the last option that I wanted to mention is kind of similar. It's to create a print-on-demand store. So there are these companies that offer print-on-demand services. It means that when a customer purchases a product you designed, they put your design onto a t-shirt or a notebook or a mug or whatever the customer purchased, and then they ship it to the customer. So your initial work is creating some designs, setting up a website, or simply listing the products on Etsy. And then it is a completely automated system where someone can purchase one of those products and the print-on-demand company will instantly manufacture it and ship it out to the customer, and you will get paid the profit. The next step I recommend you to take is that you create a plan for how you automatically deliver that value. What you don't want to do is to wind up just creating a new job for yourself, and maybe one that's even harder and more time consuming than the one you have right now. So, what systems, what software, what machines are you going to utilize to be able to automatically deliver that value? Step 3 is where things get real. It's time to create the product that you're going to sell or purchase your investment. So this is where you're going to make that investment of either time creating the product or money to purchase the investment. Now, step number 4 is optional, depending on which type of passive income you're trying to create. If you're selling a product, most likely you're going to need to find customers to purchase that product. And in that case, finding new customers is the first step. It is going to be the most difficult and longest part of the process, at least It is for most people. Now, the good news is that if you decide to just purchase an investment and make that financial investment, then you get to completely skip this step and a lot of hard work. But again, it all comes back to that trade off. Are you going to invest more time upfront or more money upfront? If you do need to find customers, there are three main ways to go about it. One is learning to work an algorithm. So, for example, you're going to sell your product on Etsy. You need to learn how to work with the Etsy algorithm to get your products to rank well. The second is pay for ads. This is often the quickest and direct route to finding customers, but it does involve a financial investment in addition to the time investment you're already making. And then the third method of finding these customers is using content marketing and organic ranking. Now, a lot of people love this option because it is in fact free financially, so there is no financial investment required. However, it does require a lot of time and it has the highest level of risk when it comes to investing your time. There's the highest risk that you might never see a return on your investment. With content marketing, now, not content marketing, I love it. It's just a little bit risky. Okay, and finally, we have come to step number 5, which is to figure out how to automate the maintenance. Most of the different types of passive income, whether you're selling a product or you purchased an investment, are going to require some sort of maintenance. Whether that's managing your stock portfolio or continuing to market your products so that you can continue to get customers, or it's managing your rental properties. So the trick here is making this source of income a lot more passive, is figuring out how to automate or delegate the maintenance. My biggest piece of advice here is to don't try to do this too soon. Do things manually for at least a few months. You need to really learn exactly what is required and how to do the maintenance effectively. You don't want to outsource things before you're ready because there might be big things that fall through the cracks because you weren't really aware of the maintenance that needed to be done. When it does come time to automate the maintenance, of course, it's going to depend on what type of passive income you're working with and whether it's something that can be automated by software or it needs to be delegated to humans. So let's wrap this up. And one last really important piece of advice if you really want to be successful with creating passive income for yourself. A lot of the time, people who want to create passive income want to create multiple streams of passive income. But then they fall into this trap, trying to create multiple streams at the same time because they think, oh, I need to get all these balls rolling because they know it's going to take a little bit of time to get momentum. But I've never seen anyone be successful with that strategy. It is so much easier to turn a passive income method into a profitable success if you just focus on one. You give it all of your energy and attention until the ball starts rolling and you have the momentum and it's paying you money. So that is my best advice for you. Also, when you're focusing on it and you're doing that initial setup to be able to create the stream of passive income, really, spend a lot of time there and put in your best work, because whatever you do there and the quality of your work is going to affect the paycheck that you get month after month on into the future. So it's worth putting in a little bit more time, a little bit more effort, and again, doing your best work so that those paychecks can be as high as possible every month in the future.
That ends our presentation for this course. I hope you learned a lot in this video course on how you can earn passively. If you have any questions, feel free to message me on my Skype, phone number, or at my email. Once again, thank you.